Hello and welcome back to the dusty desert. Though the dust is a little bit well, transparent I guess, because I don't see it anywhere, unless this whole big desert is one big collection of dust. Who knows? What is dust? Is it sand? In that case, it's definitely dusty, something that we cannot deny. Now, last time what we did was we laid down the basics for a very profitable park, and usually we expand upon this, but this time I think we should expand aggressively because, well, you know, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea to try something a little bit more risky, at least in terms of financial things, you know. I think what we should do is build ourselves a second coaster. Last time we built the Nomad's Trail, and I think we should go straight for our second coaster, or maybe our seventh coaster, though I wouldn't consider these stations with a bit of track actual coasters, but well, I think that would be the correct way to go, at least if we want to make loads of money. Now, as it stands, we currently only have one more type of coaster to build, which is the wooden roller coaster, because this one we're not going to build. As a result of that, I think we should change our funding to roller coasters, as we'll probably need maybe one more type before we can actually start finishing these coasters over here with good conscience and, well, at least, you know, have some proper results actually for them, so that we don't have like, oh wow man, yeah, we run out of money and now it's only at 6.5. We cannot have that. We need it to be well above 7. Grand, of course, if possible. But grand also comes with grand costs. So, what we're gonna do, we are going to build this second coaster. Or 7th, or whatever you want it. However you want to, well, you know, number it. It is going to be over here, I think. Should we do it like this, or should we do it like this? If we zoom out a little bit, I think we should build it like this, and we'll probably have a path run up here in the future, maybe go over here as well, so yeah, you know, we won't be doing stuff that will make it impossible for us in the future to build stuff here, so yeah, there we go. Right, now, because of this, because of the way we have it set up, I do want to get ourselves the path first here, because if we don't, then, you know, you'll see we'll finish the coaster and then we'll run into the hey, where is all our money syndrome. Something that I have showed experience with in the past, something that I would like to prevent from happening. So, there. Oh man, look at how much that actually costs us. That is like 1,000. Man, I mean, we really do need to, well, keep it all within our budget. Let's take out the maximum amount of money. So we have 8,000 to spend on this. That's not a whole lot, you know. I wonder if we'll even be able to do this. We're gonna try our best, of course. It's also probably in our best interest to not make this the highest possible coaster. So therefore, I think height 17 is high enough for this one. Oh. Yeah, hey, there's a track there! Who built that? See, what I wanted to do here was maybe we should go a little bit higher with this land. Just so that we're able to actually get this to where we want it to go. No. Oh wow, we still need to go one higher still. That's alright though, we'll do that. That's not an issue, at least not for right now. We shouldn't really go that much higher as the costs are already skyrocketing. Look, that's perfect. And then we'll actually go down, because I do want this to go straight into the underground right from the get-go. Now we'll probably even want, no, we do want this to go down there. Nice. Right, okay. I guess we don't really have much choice in what we do next. Basically, we can do maybe one cool curve around, and then we're already forced to go up. I mean, with up, I mean go around, you know, get back to the station because money issues. So, yeah, in terms of design, we've made better. I'm aware of this. Now, where exactly? Oh, there it is. I was wondering for a moment there, where on earth is our build tile? So now we come from height 19. So our speed will be not that high. Let's actually get this to go like this. And then something like this. And then something like this. I mean, it's not like we are really that desperate for money. We could return it to the station right now. But I don't think that would be the right course of action. So now we can't have helixes, unfortunately. What we can do, though, is go down into the underground once more. Which is something that we will do. Luckily, terraforming is turning out to be quite fortunate for us. And then what we'll do is we'll have to curve around over here. And then we shall probably also look at ways of getting this to go up. Because I think it is clear right now that we do want this to start getting back to the station like right very now. There. Yeah, most definitely right very now. Wow. That's alright though. If this turns out the way that I hope it will, we should have an on-ride... Oh, you know what we should also do for the money at least? Get ourselves like... Ah, yeah, no, alright. We'll do this a little bit differently. We shall get a on-ride photo section with the water splash. And then that should slow it down enough for us to have it enter the station safely. Right, this is the least interesting coaster design we've built in quite a while, but let's see what the ratings are. If this is just a medium coaster, not grand in any way, shape or form, I don't mind really. It's not like this needs to be grand. Also, this queue, by the way, how about we lengthen that up in the foreseeable future? Look, speeds are reasonably, and then another drop down, and then turn around, get up there. Wow, maybe that on-ride photo section isn't as great as I thought it would be. I don't know, man. We could lengthen it up a little bit. I don't know really. It depends on the ratings. If they're really crap, which I actually expect that they will be, we shall add something to it. But if they're just mediocre, I'm actually cool with that, you know. This will be like a warm-up coaster for most of the folks. Look at that, perfect warm-up coaster. We have it. And it's gonna have such an insane guest turnover count that we can actually afford this one to have a pretty long queue. Which is... Oh, crap. I'm mashing butons and the wrong ones. Let us check. No. That's not what I wanted to do. Game. Let us change the queue size here dramatically. Look, we can have it be this long and then go all the way around. I know we're investing money in it, but I kinda do want to have this filled up. That indicates that it does start to rain, even though it's a desert. That doesn't say everything. I want this to be able to have at least quite a few runs continue, because if it starts raining, our profits will fall flat instantly. Look, a nice mediocre coaster. Oh, you know what? We might want to set this up to. We're probably not gonna have this be the main exit path, but for the time being it will be. However, we are gonna do this in advance, just so that we have, you know, the necessary benchifying and trash canifying done for once we start using this as our main expansion. Also, we shall have a fix mechanic over here, who shall only go over there. Nice. Alright, now we can start to set this up, which I think now everything is already looking hunky-dory. So now we have two nice coasters that people won't find too intense too quickly. However, the really intense stuff, that's not yet in this park. So yeah, we still have a ways to go. But once the money starts flowing in, and I assume that that is what it will do really, really quick. Right, nice. We got the Virginia reel. Oops, that's the hotkey. I wanted this back on thrill rides, because we are not going to build a coaster right now. No, instead what we will do is get other rides after we of course finish up this one. Extra mechanic, you know, just a loose walking one never hurts. Right, let's give this a name. Why don't we call this the Camelback? I mean, after all, you know, if you take a look at the design, it just goes up and down a few times. And that's it. Pretty much like a camelback, huh? Oh man. Desert and name theming. I are so good at it. At least better than space stuff. Yeah, man, space stuff. Totally not my thing. Anyway, why don't we go with a... No. Maybe we should go with a black and white theming. And then perhaps have a little bit of a darker wood on it. Yeah, no, that looks alright. And then we could go with like some sandy colors on it, you know. Perhaps even have like golden seeds or something. Yeah, no, that looks alright. Definitely looks alright. Oh man, this is gonna be so good for the profits. You just don't want to know. And look at our guest count, how that is rising as well. Speaking about which, guests and all, we're gonna enter a few guests into the park, yeah. I still have the name list, and somebody did request a name to be added into the park, which I'm actually kind of honored to have, you know, to have that being asked. I'm like, yeah, you know, I like that. We're gonna have Mildred in the park. In remembrance of someone's, some person of a viewer who recently passed away. Welcome to the park. Live on your memory of her in this park. Hopefully she will enjoy it as much as she might have done in her younger years. I don't know, man, but yeah, I think it's a good thing, you know, to have that in the park, you know. I'm always up for stuff like that. So anyway, welcome to the park. That's one. We need another one. And we shall have... I don't know if I've had you know, certain names before, but we're gonna have Robin Schuljund. Welcome to the park, mate. Enjoy your stay. Hopefully you will find it as enjoyable as I find it. You know what? Let's add myself to the park. Now, I probably won't really be keeping track of what I'm doing, actually, but it's always fun to have myself in the park. By the way, did both of them, or all three of them, actually save? Oh, they're actually not in the park, so I can't even tell. Right, derp. Now, as for how we're going to continue, let us add another thrill ride. I think a circus show would be a very welcome addition. Something that could go over here. Man. I know the entrance is kind of looking over here, you know, but what we're gonna have is we're gonna have the actual entrance over there and the exit over there. So when the show's over, you're like, joop, instantly out of the ride. I mean, it's all about efficiency, right? It's all about efficiency. Now, as for where this queue is gonna head towards to, I don't want it to be too long, so we're instantly gonna have that go there. Seems about right to me. Yeah, $5. Let's have it. $5? Definitely, let's have it. I mean, more rides, the more the merrier. Now, as for the name, I have one in mind. How about of Scorpios and Sand Snakes? As if... Oh, no. Snack Sands! Sand Snakes. Sanakes. Snakes. And typing is difficult, you know. Anyway, this is of course an excellent name. As if it were an epic poem performed by our animal performers. Yes. Right. Coloring? Yeah. I don't think purple and white is really the way to go. As for our tents, I don't want something too fancy. Maybe something like this. Purple and orange. Seems about right. Maybe a darker purple. Definitely, we can live with this, you know. It's not like we need it to be something else. Now, as for this ride, we have one handy dude over here patrolling. I don't think we should go rampant on the staff right at the start. So we'll leave it at this for the time being. Now, we could add in something over here, but we, you know, do we have the... We do. Would it fit? No, it wouldn't. Okay, fine. I thought for a moment I could fit in a pyramid over here. We might plan down a ride, but on the other hand, what I do want to do is kind of work our way towards this coaster. Because this wooden one will be the first one that we're gonna complete in the challenge. So, where do we need the path to be for that though? Ideally, we'd have the path run... Let's just go up here and then see how we're actually going to handle all the pathing. The easiest thing seems to just hook it up to over here, but... Now we should have like a square around. We should definitely have squares. Squares work. We know this from experience. Yeah, this is where we'll have the path expand onto. So we'll just add in like this bunch here. For the time being, that's enough. The coaster is not on the immediate agenda, but I would like to actually start on it relatively soon. So yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Also, you know what? Which I think would be nope. Which I think is a thing that would definitely be enjoyed by the guests. Even though it might be a little bit costly to build right now, it might not add much. The guests do appreciate these. I think especially in a desert park. So there you go. Also a few more here, you know. Why don't we, if we do expand the path, why don't we keep smacking these down? Guests really do love it. So, right, let's turn... Oh look, I'm in line for the Nomad's Thrill. Coasters galore. First thing I go on. Oh man, so like my true self. Yeah, let's get on with it though. We have lots of stuff to do. Money to make, coasters to finish. You know, all that. You know, the regular jazz. Oh man, it's good to be back in one of these traditional parks, man. Man, do I love it. Right, also... Let's get a bench out here. Alrighty. Good. Well, you know what? Shop and stall. We need to get the facilities not only over here, but also on this end. Why don't we build at least, you know, a few more variety foodstuff things? Maybe also another toilet over here wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, and a drink stall. I think that will do. We don't need to build with each expansion one of everything, but you know, so long as we keep good coverage, which is what I think we're doing currently. Alright, so now that we have a circus show, we have a coaster, we have one thrill ride, I think we're due for another thrill ride. And of course it needs to be the ship, and of course the ship needs to be near the oasis. You know what? This will actually lower it onto that stretch of land, which I think will just make the whole thing look much better. However, it now does require terraforming. And, you know, I said we wouldn't butcher the terrain if we don't have to. I'm gonna keep that, even though this is money that could definitely be spent better on more important things. I know. I'm still going to do it. There you go. And we also need to do this for the exit. Something that, yeah, it's gonna happen over here. I'm sorry, you know, more terraforming, but it needs to be done. Well, it doesn't need to be done, but I want it to be done. And therefore it needs to be done. Oh man, so philosophical. I want, therefore it needs. Be. Is. Truth. Life. Purpose, you know. There, I'm just putting out some philosophical slang out there. Alright, looking good, looking good. Let's get the yellow cues out there, you know, color tradition and all that. I mean, the ship doesn't really have a high turnover rate, but I do want the queue to be hooked up directly here. A little bit on the long side, nothing too long though, nothing that we cannot live with. Right, so far, so good, if I may say so myself, you know. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing looking too bad, nothing badly designed, or being poor maintained, or... You know, it's all coming together rather nicely. So far we're actually having a flying start of this park. We have 2 coasters and look at us. We're building stuff, you know, constantly, continuously. Yet our money is not going down. This is a sign of a well-managed, well-maintained park. Now then, we have the handy dude. Let us, yeah, let us tune it before we open it, because else I know how this is gonna end up, man. Oh, I know how this is gonna end up. It is gonna end up in loss of profit, even though at $1.50 it will still make a profit, but I'm gonna reap the maximum profits. We have coasters to finish. Finishing coasters is anything but cheap as far as I know, and I know. Right, so the ship is popular now. It should be in a desert where ships are a rare occasion. Why don't we call this... I mean, it's a ship on dry land. Why don't we call this... wreckaging. There. Wreckaging. It's a verb. Are you wreckaging? I are wreckaging. And, well, actually, how fitting it is. The first boat that is there, I'm on it. Because I know, because I am a captain, right? Oh man, I actually seem to behave exactly as the real life me would. Where there's a boat, I am steering it. I are commanding it. You know what, let's color this in the colors of what my own boat looks like. That would involve a lot of black, at least over here. Also black here, and then white. After all, our boat is a little bit on the black side, with white, you know, the name's in white. The rest is pretty black, I can tell you. Well, not on the deck, actually, because the black just makes it searing hot. It's metal, after all. But this is pretty fitting, though, admittedly, the entrance style looks a bit crappy like this right now. Why don't we make this wooden? Yeah, that seems fitting. I mean, we have a wooden interior on my boat, so... However, wreckaging is anything but fitting. At least if this is supposed to be my boat, definitely not fitting. Oh well, what can we do, right? Now, let's focus on what else we're gonna build here. I'm actually inclined to get the water coaster out here too. Probably over here on this side and moving into this area a little bit. But as far as money goes, we're better off not building that right away. We're probably better off getting like a tower or something. To go like over here, you know, where other coasters can go round. Something like over here, for example, would be excellent. That way guests can also have like a good overview of the park and they can see the things that are to come. Yes. Now, we don't want this to be too long either, and we don't want anything leading over here. So, we're gonna have the entrance be here. Exits be there. And yeah, in terms of queue size, it shouldn't be really that long. How about we optimize this for you know, repeat guests? I think we couldn't have done any better optimizing when it comes to repeat guests, basically. Also, I believe that our handy dude over here, you don't really patrol that area, but if I'm honest, we also don't really need anyone else here. So, there, right, nice. $5. I want it over here to be $5 too. There. Open it up. Set the inspection time to 10 minutes. Now, how are we gonna name and color this? First of all, let's get actually a name over here. Why don't we call this Cloud Peak? No. Anything with peak, tower, or pole is just no. We need something a little bit more original. You know what? Why don't we name this to the contrary of what you would expect? The Sink Pit. Nah, not pit. The sink pole. Like a sand pit, you know. No, that's lame. We want something better. By the way, is this gonna clip through here? No, it isn't. Even though you would expect it would, seeing how this is stretching out further than this pole is, it's still just all nicely sprited behind it. Why don't we call this... yeah, we're gonna call this Desert Rose. Alright. I mean, you have those, you know, these twig balls that just roll around in the desert and only open up when it's raining. Yeah. It's supposed to be something like that, though. There is a twig, there is a small ball, but for the rest the comparison is far to be found here, you know. Of course, as a twig ball, we shall have this, have consistent brown, blackish colors, you know, more like this, and then, yes, very fitting. Also, oh, we will have the canvas tent back up here. Good. And it's looking very good so far. I'm also looking at our money and I'm thinking like, we don't really need that much more. Probably like 8 or 7k more in terms of money to be able to finish this. And when we talk coasters, we have the water coaster, but also this one, which is really cheap. And I'm considering building this, but you know what? We have a few somewhat nice thrill rides. I think what we should also go for is like a real buster when it comes to thrill rides, you know, a real good one that is like the ultimate thrill ride, at least compared to all the others. Ooh, you know, I thought, not this one, that we actually also had the tower. Tower is really good, but we also have a tower there, so let's not. We shall have it face the path. There. Now, as for where we're gonna hook it up, I'm in favor of hooking it up over here. There. Right next to the toilet as well. Definitely do we want a new handy dude over here to keep this area clean. Because this is gonna see a lot more vomit, let me assure you that. Oh man, it's gonna be nasty over here. And we both know it. There, go around there. Now, I'm not entirely sure, but I do believe that path near rides actually enhances the ratings. At least it's true for coasters, but I'm not entirely sure how it works on these easy slam down thrill rides. Not entirely sure. Anyway, this is gonna be like the... Maybe even in terms of intensity, it's gonna be on par with some of the most intense coasters that we have. Most intense coasters! I'm looking at this mediocre job of 2 coasters that I've done here. Still, you know, I mean, very high, but most definitely it is the most intense. Which is actually a good... well, it's close up there actually. But that's a good thing, because... that will, currently, you know, in the current state of things, this will lure in a great deal of guests to this ride, just because it is one of the more intense rides. Later on, when we have grand coasters, of course they're gonna be grand, we shall have, you know, guests prefer them over this run ride, but, oh well. Right, let's see. How about we call this... the Dancing Dune. Dancing Dune. Oh yeah. Pretty fitting, pretty dancing. No, it's only it's pirouettes only apparently for this one. Ah well, what do we care, right? We are on the camelback, at least last I've checked. Ew, that's actually for the tent, is it? Maybe we could get away with like something like this. It looks a bit odd. I'm gonna stick with it though. Not for the ride itself. Can we have golden in here? No, because golden looks like brown. I want yellow in here. I'm sorry. There's gonna be a lot of yellow in the park. I think this looks okay. The Dancing Dune. It's a bit of a color mishmash, you know. Green, orange, brown, yellow. But it does fit the theming overall, so... Right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we have left the park running quite a bit, but it is mostly done just to get money for future rides that we have to build, like Virginia Rail Coasters, for example, nice and cheap, excellent for profits. We are going to build them and more next time when we play more Rollercoaster Tycoon.